This conflict has many shades of gray. The Assad regime that is horrible, and anything that is done by his opponents is barely discussed.
Informed analysis, in-depth debates, inside
It's
Syria
10 hours.
at this time on Al Jazeera.
You're on.
Hello, I'm Shakun Chilasanthan with the headlines here on Al Jazeera.
Hello,
After 4
Newsline.
U.S.
It's
troops
Monday,
were killed by
September
police in
17th,
Afghanistan, the
a
United
national
States'
holiday
top
here in
military
Tokyo.
commander has been
Catherine
speaking about
Japanese
the enemy
people
within.
across China
General Martin
have been
Dempsey says the
shaken
attacks
by a
are
wave
a
of
very serious
anti-Japan
threat to America's
sentiment.
war effort.
Rallies against
And a
Japan's
former Afghan soldier
nationalization
has
of
been
the
telling Al
Senkaku
Jazeera
Islands
it
were
won't be
held
the
on
last.
Sunday in
Bernard
about
Smith has more from
85
Kabul.
Chinese cities. Thousands of protesters
20-year-old
gathered in
Mahmoud
front
shows
of
off the
Japanese
benefits of his
embassy
training in the
Beijing.
Afghan
More
army.
than 1,000 armed police guarded the day-long
It was used to
protest.
deadly effect when he turned his
officials say they
M16
have no
rifle
reports
on
of
US
the
soldiers visiting his base in eastern
attacks,
Afghanistan
but they
in
say
May.
people speaking Japanese
Mahmoud
in
killed
public
one
have
American
met
and
with
injured
hostility.
another. He then escaped to a Taliban camp in Kunar province.
Protesters occupied
When I was
the
in the
Japanese
army, I was
consulate
always
lobby in
thinking, how can I get a
Guangzhou
gun
in a
and face the
9-hour
infidel
standoff
invaders
with
and kill them?
police. Students at Japanese
Mahmoud
schools
says
in
Taliban
Beijing
elders
and
advised
Guangzhou
him
will
to
stay
join the
home
army.
on Monday and
After
Tuesday
20 days basic
as
training,
online
he was
networks
deployed
call
to
for
Kunar
more
province.
protests.
There,
Some
he
Japanese
waited for
people
his
have
chance.
reported receiving threats.
When I shot the Americans, they were looking down at a map. When I escaped, I brought my uniform, my ammunition, and this M16.
Are considering sending back families of employees.
Mahmoud's motivation
Chinese
is as clear
protesters are
as it is
gearing up for
disturbing.
an out of
He
Tuesday
believes he's carrying out
1931
God's will.
invasion of Manchuria. Further rallies are planned
I want to
that
kill
day
them because
in
they
at least
invaded our
35
country. I
Chinese
want other
cities.
soldiers to feel Allah's
Workers
will,
at
fight holy
factories
war
of
like me,
large
and
Japanese
become
firms in
martyrs
China
or
will
join
be
the
staying home
Mujahideen.
Monday and Tuesday. Company
Recently, around
directors have
700
suspended
new recruits were
operations
kicked
amid
out of the
violent
Afghan
anti-Japan
security services
protests.
after being reassessed
Executives at
as a
Japanese
potential
electronics
threat.
giant Panasonic
What we found
decided
out
to
was
temporarily
if we
halt
have
3
people,
of their
Afghans,
plants.
who work
Chinese
with our
protesters
troops
attacked
for a
2
prolonged
of them
period
on
of
Saturday
time,
in
those were the
Shandong
ones
and
where really
Jiangsu
can say,
provinces.
yeah, we have all the
Company
confidence in the world in
representatives
those
said
guys.
buildings
The young
and
guys, we need to
equipment were
screen,
destroyed,
we need to
but
vet
they
them,
said they don't
see
know
if
the
they're
extent
eligible
of the
for the job.
damage.
So those are the ones
Panasonic
we will look
directors
into
will also
in the
suspend
beginning
a
of
factory in
the training
Zhuhai,
program.
Guangdong
A
province.
few hours
due to
after this video
protests
was
by
filmed by
Chinese
Al
workers.
Jazeera, an ISAF airstrike
Now,
hit the same
executives at
location,
Japanese electronics
killing
firm
more than 10
Canon also
Taliban
decided
fighters.
to suspend operations on
assumed
Monday and
Mahmoud
Tuesday at
died
3
in the
factories.
attack.
They say
More
it's a
than 50
precautionary
ISAF
measure.
personnel
The
have been
Canon
killed
directors
in
say they'll
insider
resume
attacks this
operations
year.
after
They are
monitoring the
demoralizing for
situation.
foreign troops and
Japan's
strain
Prime
the
Minister
close
Yoshihiko
working
Noda is urging
relationships
the
with
Chinese
Afghans
government
that are
to
essential
ensure the
as
safety
responsibility
of
for
Japanese
security is
citizens
handed
and
over.
businesses.
But it only takes a second to pull
Noda
a trigger,
made the remark
and
on an
ISAF is having
NHK
difficulty
TV program.
identifying those new recruits who might turn against coalition
Japan and China have had
soldiers.
serious problems
Bernard Smith,
before,
Al Jazeera,
as we are
Kabul.
very near each other. I believe the two
Also
neighbors
in
can overcome
Afghanistan,
problems
NATO has
together
offered
if we
its
both
sincere
have a broad
apologies after
perspective.
9 women were killed in an
Communication and exchange of
airstrike.
views are
The women
very
were out
important.
gathering wood in Lagman province.
Noda
Their
said he
deaths
has
have
filed a
provoked
strong
a
protest with the
some
Chinese
Afghans
government
chanting death
about the
to
burning
America.
of Japanese flags. Noda later
For the
summoned
first
Vice
time,
Foreign
Iran has
Minister
confirmed that
Chiang
what it
Kai-wai
calls
and a
advisors
top
have been
crisis management
operating in
official.
Syria.
The
The
Prime
commander-in-chief
Minister
of the
instructed them to
Iranian
take all
Revolutionary
possible
Guard
measures
says
to
it does
collect
not
information
constitute
on the
military
demonstrations
intervention.
and to protect Japanese people
The Roman
in China.
Catholic leader has ended his 3-day trip to Lebanon with a renewed plea for an end to the violence in neighboring Syria. Cheering crowds at Beirut airport bid farewell to Pope Benedict XVI. Earlier, he held
More people are
open-air
rising
Sunday
up
mass
in the
for
Muslim
thousands of
world to
worshippers.
protest against an American-made film
Protests
that
against the
denigrates the
anti-Islam
Prophet
video
Muhammad.
produced in the United
Demonstrations
States
turned
have spread to
violent in some parts
Pakistan.
of
At least one
Pakistan.
person was
2
killed in
people are
vehicles
dead.
set on fire in Karachi.
More than
Riot police
1,000
fired tear gas
Pakistanis
and
took part in a
rubber-coated steel
rally
bullets to
Sunday
disperse
in the
crowds
southern
around the
city of
U.S. consulates.
Karachi. About 100 of them tried to
There
break
have been
into
more
the U.S.
anti-Japanese
consulate
protests
general.
in China
They
over a
fought with
chain of
security
disputed
forces.
islands. Japan's
Police
Prime
say
Minister has
officers
called on
opened
Beijing to
fire
guarantee
to
the
disperse
safety of
them, killing
Japanese
one
citizens
person
and property
and
in
injuring
China.
19
Chinese
others.
warships have been conducting
Violence also
live
broke out
ammunition
east of
exercises
Karachi in the
East
city of
China Sea.
Hyderabad. Police opened fire on protesters.
100,000
A stray
homes have been
bullet
left
hit
without
a
electricity
pedestrian.
after Typhoon
People in the
Samba swept
capital
through southwest
Islamabad and the
Japan.
eastern
One
city of
person was killed
Lahore
and
held
4
their own
others injured.
anti-U.S.
It's now
rallies.
approaching South
The country's
Korea.
security authorities are warning
Jazeera
these
World
protests could
is up
intensify.
next.
The anti-Islam film has further angered Pakistanis. They're already upset with the United States over its repeated attacks against against Afghanistan have been killed by local police. 51 international troops have died this year in such insider attacks. A military spokesman said an Afghan police officer opened fire on Sunday in the southern province of Zabul.
This is the first time a lot of people are sharing their
stories. U.S. soldiers.
I was sleeping in my room.
I
had the blankets over my head.
By a local officer in Helmand,
they pulled the blanket off. And they're like, wake up.
The military spokesman said the motives behind the killings are unclear. Afghan defense officials said earlier this month that they expelled or detained hundreds of soldiers with suspected insurgent links. But they failed to stem the rise in insider attacks. Afghan leaders are under pressure to strengthen their local forces. International coalition commanders plan to hand over authority by the end of 2014.
I felt like I was walking to a death
The commander-in-chief of Iran's Revolutionary Guards has revealed he
they
sent
take me, they
special
fingerprint
forces
me,
to
and then they
Syria.
finally put me in a room and they start interrogating
Mohammed
me.
Ali
I stayed there
Jafari
6.5
spoke to reporters on Sunday
Shahina's
in
son
Tehran.
was convicted of
He
a
said
plot
he sent the
to
Iranian special unit, the
bomb
Quds Force, to
34th Street
Syria
Herald
and
Square
Lebanon.
Station,
But
a
he
plot that was
clarified
dreamed
they're
up
acting in
by,
a
coordinated, and
non-military
planned by an
capacity.
FBI informant.
Jafari said his forces are proud to support Syria. United States officials classify the Quds Force as a terrorist organization.
We fell with them.
South Korea is abuzz with political talk as more and more voters show a keen interest in the presidential election slated for December. The largest opposition party announced its nominee on Sunday. NHK World's Fumitaka Sato has more.
All members of the Democratic United Party have been seeking to become its presidential candidate since August.
I'm now in the ballot counting press near Seoul City.
In the course of this journey, I met many mothers, sisters, daughters seeking justice. And then there are the ones who are afraid to talk.